At a family meeting, I thought exposing my wife's secret would be the biggest shock of the night. But what my daughter revealed next left everyone speechless. You won't believe how it all unfolded. The soft glow of the fireplace cast dancing shadows across the walls of our cozy suburban home. The living room adorned with family photos, and the faint scent of vanilla candles felt like the very picture of stability. It was a scene I had once cherished, a life of comfort and routine with my wife, Claire, and our teenage daughter, Emily. Dinner had always been a sacred ritual in our house. Tonight was no different, or so I thought. The table was set with Claire's usual precision, white linens, our best silverware, and a glass of red wine at each place setting. She sat across from me, her blonde hair tucked neatly behind her ear, her smile as poised as ever. But lately, that smile had started to feel hollow, her laughter forced. I've been ignoring the cracks for months. The late-night work calls, the abrupt trips to visit her sister, and the subtle way she started pulling back from me. It was easier to dismiss the nagging feeling, gnawing at my gut, than to confront the possibility that my world wasn't as perfect as I convinced myself it was. But tonight the silence was louder than usual. Claire barely touched her wine, swirling it absently as she stared into the flickering flames. Emily, seated between us, chattered on about school, oblivious to the tension crackling in the air. You're quiet tonight, I said, watching Claire carefully. Her head snapped up, her blue eyes wide with feigned surprise. Just tired, she murmured, offering a weak smile. It's been a long week. A simple answer. Innocent. But the way she shifted in her chair, her fingers tightening around the stem of her glass, sent a chill down my spine. Something was off. The first clue came 2 weeks later, in the form of a lipstick-stained napkin tucked carelessly into the pocket of Claire's coat. The shade vivid red wasn't hers. Claire hated bold colors, she preferred muted tones, always saying they suited her quiet elegance. I should have confronted her, then demanded an explanation. But a darker part of me, the part already suspecting the truth, needed confirmation. That confirmation came in waves. An errant text flashing across her phone late at night. Reading, miss you already love. When's the next cruise? Unexplained charges on our credit card, and finally, the damning receipt from a boutique hotel in Miami. It was undeniable. Claire, my wife of 15 years, was having an affair? I waited for the perfect moment to confront her. Claire had always been meticulous, controlling the narrative of our lives like a seasoned director. I wanted to see what happened when her perfect script unraveled. The opportunity came during a family meeting. Claire called to discuss our upcoming summer plans. We sat around the same dining table, Emily scrolling through her phone, while Claire leafed through brochures for a Mediterranean cruise. I think it'll be a wonderful trip for the three of us, Claire said, her voice bright and confident. We need a getaway. Another cruise? I asked, my tone deceptively light. Didn't you get enough of those already? Her smile faltered. What are you talking about? I leaned back, folding my arms as I locked eyes with her. Oh, just thought you'd already seen enough of the ocean. And whoever you were with last time. Emily froze, her phone slipping from her hand. Claire's face drained of color, but she quickly recovered, plastering on a look of confusion. I don't know what you're implying, but... Darling, I interrupted, my voice steady now, no wine for you tonight. Or is it because you're still on antibiotics for gonorrhea from your last cruise? The silence that followed was deafening. Claire's mask of composure shattered, her mouth opening and closing as she searched for words. Dad, Emily whispered, her voice trembling. What's going on? But before I could answer, Emily stood abruptly, her eyes wide with tears. This is all wrong, she choked out. I need to say something. I turned to her confused. Emily, it's okay. This isn't about you. No, it is. She interrupted, her voice breaking. Because Mom's not the only one keeping secrets. The air seemed to thicken as Emily clutched the edge of the table, tears streaming down her face. What are you talking about? I asked, my chest tightening. Emily's gaze darted between us before finally settling on me. I didn't know how to tell you, Dad. I didn't want to hurt you. But I found out a few months ago. Found out what? My voice was barely above a whisper. Her lip quivered as she said the words that would change everything. Mom isn't the only one cheating. You are too. My heart stopped. What are you talking about? Don't lie, Emily snapped, her voice suddenly fierce. I saw the messages on your phone. From some woman named Lydia. You've been meeting her while Mom's away, haven't you? I was too stunned to respond. Lydia. A name I thought I'd buried months ago, along with the affair I told myself I'd ended. Claire's shock quickly morphed into fury. You hypocrite, she hissed, rising from her seat. How dare you stand there and accuse me when you're just as guilty? The room descended into chaos, accusations flying like daggers. But as Claire and Emily's voices rose, I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. In the days that followed, I made it my mission to expose Claire for the manipulative liar she was. I hired a private investigator to dig into her lover's life, uncovering a web of deceit that stretched far beyond our marriage. But Claire wasn't the only one playing dirty. She too began to plot against me, using Emily as a pawn in her twisted game. She twisted the narrative, painting me as the villain, the unfaithful husband who had driven her into another man's arms. The tension reached a boiling point one stormy night when Claire and I finally confronted each other alone. You've destroyed this family, she spat, her eyes blazing with fury. No, I replied coldly, stepping closer. You did that the moment you decided I wasn't enough for you. Her laughter was bitter. And what about Lydia? Or didn't you think I'd find out about her? My jaw tightened, but I refused to let her see the guilt flicker in my eyes. This isn't about Lydia, I said, my voice low. This is about you. Your lies. Your selfishness. And now you're going to pay for it. The final act of revenge was carefully orchestrated. I leaked the details of Claire's affair to her lover's wife, a woman scorned and eager for justice. Together we exposed them publicly. Their sordid rendezvous splashed across social media and local gossip columns. But I wasn't done yet. Using the evidence I'd gathered, I filed for divorce and fought ruthlessly for custody of Emily. In court, I painted Claire as an unfit mother. Her affair, proof of her poor judgment and lack of stability. By the time the dust settled, Claire was left with nothing. No home, no reputation, and no control over the narrative she'd so carefully constructed. As I stood on the balcony of my new apartment, watching the city lights flicker in the distance, I felt a strange mix of relief and emptiness. The revenge I'd so desperately sought had been satisfying, but it had also cost me. Emily, though, still struggling to process the fallout, had chosen to stay with me. We were rebuilding piece by piece, finding solace in our shared pain. Dad. Her voice pulled me from my thoughts. I turned to find her standing in the doorway, a tentative smile on her face. Are we going to be okay? I walked over, pulling her into a hug. We will be, I said firmly. Some betrayals break us, but others, they make us stronger. And as I held her, I made a silent promise to never let anyone tear us apart again. Like the story hit, subscribe for more tales of betrayal, revenge, and redemption.